everybody, and welcome to the final part of my Heads Up series. First off, I just want to thank Evan for letting me do this, and I'm very happy to make the series. And this last match is actually like pretty short match, so I'm gonna try to like talk about the hands a little more, or either that, or they're just not gonna be that interesting, and the video is gonna be a little shorter. But regardless, let's get into the action. Alright, so we're starting 100 big blinds deep, which is always fun. Deeper the better. Very easy open here. I actually remember this hand. I think it's like the only hand that I remember from this heads up match that we played. And it was very poorly played by me. So I ended up getting 3-bet on the first hand here. And I remember at the time, I thought it was just like one of those things where it was the first hand, so he was 3-betting me just because he could. And I decided I ended up peeling. Here, I'll just go to it real quick. Which obviously is horrible with this hand. It's just a really bad hand called 3-bet with. Here, I'm going to the notes I have on it. So he has limping range 20 big blinds effective, and he min raised for 16 big blind stack. And he's able to adjust to a weak player. So I think this guy was the guy that I thought was the best player with 8 left, if you guys remember my last video. So I don't really have that many notes on him, but there's that. So I ended up making a horrible call here with King 6. It's obviously just turning this. Then I flop a 6, so I hope I check back here. Okay, so I'm betting. I know why I'm betting, but I just don't like it. I'm betting because I thought that this flop was better for my range, especially when he checked. And it's true, but heads up, the ranges are just so close, and the equity of ranges are just so close that it doesn't matter as much as if it was full ring or 6 max, where it was like heads up versus big blind or something. Sorry about that. If it was under the gun versus big blind, or like some other situation where ranges are just so different and like so easy to tell which flop is better for which player. In this case, in heads up, I'm gonna say this board favors me, but it's not by a huge margin. I still don't have jacks, queens, kings, and aces here very often. Well, he has all those combos and even 10s. I probably have 10s here, but he has 10s as well. Pocket 8s, I have it, and 6s I have, and he might not have 6s, but he still could. He still could have pocket 8s and 6s as well. I have 7-9 suited. He could have 3-bet 7-9 suited, but it's not a likelihood 3-bet for him. I guess it's always a possible one. I have a lot of heart draws. He has some heart draws. I think I have a few more because I have like the 4-5 suiteds and like the king 5 suiteds and stuff like that. If I'm peeling 3-bets, while he's probably not 3-betting those hands. So like this once again, this flop isn't that much better for me. It's very marginally better for me. So that at the time when I was playing this tournament, I wasn't as good of a player. I just assumed this flop was better for me by a decent margin, and I was wrong to assume so. And looks like I'm pretty sure I'm punished here. I'm pretty sure I lose this hand. The only thing I remember from this hand is that I call a 3-0 King 6, which I was very unhappy about. Okay, I'm happy that I check back this turn, and I lose to 9, which it makes a lot of sense the way he played it. In his spot, I wouldn't have minded a c-bet as well. I think I c-bet at 9s there a little more often than a check. It's close, but I think it's a little bit better of a check. A little bit better of a c-bet than a check. Just because once again ranges are so close, so it's not like it's that much of a better flop. Not like it's that much. The flop is much better for me than it is for him. And 9s does need some protection. If I have a hand like king queen, I have 6 outs, and if like a jack comes, I can barrel him off on 2 streets. Or like if an ace comes, I can barrel if he checks again or whatever. So I think in his spot it's more favorable to bet. If you had a hand like aces, I think it's more favorable to check, or even a hand like queens. But a hand like 9s exactly, it's probably a slightly better bet. He did have the gutter ball on the flop, so that's a reason for checking because he has the set of straight right there. But when he just check calls, because you would expect him to have a straight draw once he just check calls. But at the same time, both plays have their merit, obviously, but with nines exactly, I think a bet is just slightly better. So I'm pretty sure I don't. Okay, well, if he's min raising, I'm at this point. If you guys watch any of my other videos, I just don't fold my big blind to a min raise. I've decided to go against that a little bit nowadays, just slightly. I still play, like 80% of hands or whatever, but I do have a folding range. But that's irrelevant in this video, because at this time my strategy was to not be folding the big blind and to be min raising buttons, which I don't even min raise buttons anymore. Sometimes I do versus some players, but I've adjusted my game a little bit to where I'm not doing that as often. Very easy call for me. I want to 3-bet his hand. He doesn't play too well in 3-bet pots. He's gonna peel a lot. Versus if he had bet smaller, I would have peeled with ace high. But versus 2/3 pot bet, I just think that ace 6 off is not gonna do as well. It's a board that he's gonna barrel a lot of hands. I think a lot of hands should barrel there. It was like 9-10-4, so like queen jack, king jack, jack 8, 8-7. If he turns a flush draw, if he has any 10, just any overpair, which he still has. There's just a lot of hands that can barrel there, and I think he's gonna barrel a lot. So peeling with ace 6, I'm not gonna be able to realize my equity as much, so it's not gonna be a good spot to call the flop. Okay. Very easy to defend with the jack 8. I don't 3-bet that often when he's min raising, and the flop fold is fine. I can't really rep much. I don't really want to check raise it to 5 board. I could occasionally, but there's probably better hands to do it with. So maybe a hand like king 3, or like, I don't know, maybe a hand like 10-4, jack 4, something like that, where I have a straight draw as well, and I'm blocking like 4 deuce or like 3 deuce or something. Or if I don't want to check raise ace highs, so where I'm blocking ace deuce, but so those hands I would definitely call, but I would call a decent amount of king highs as well. So that's pretty much what hands I'm doing it with. I like my check back here. I have a lot of showdown value. I can call a lot of turn cards, especially if he's been this small. Seems like a very easy way to realize my equity. Yeah, I don't know about this. I think I would just call and raise. See, folding has 0 EV, as we know, obviously, because I'm not losing anything. I don't know what I lost earlier, but that's not my money anymore because it's already in the pot. Calling, I think. Calling might. See, I don't know the player enough. Against some players, calling is very profitable. They're just betting a lot of shit. And some players, it's just always losing me 3,800 chips because they're never bluffing. And then raising. It could be the best play if he's just folding everything but like an 8 or a queen, because I don't think he has an 8 or a queen very often with this bet. So I think he's betting a 6 or a 5 here a lot of the time for value, and a raise will work against some players. Against some players, are just gonna snap it off. So it depends a lot on the player. So I'm okay with this sometimes, and I would prefer it if I had like. What hands am I calling the tournament? If I had a hand like King Jack, I'd probably prefer it just because it has a little less showdown value. He could just be betting the size with like Ace Deuce, Ace 4, Ace 7 type hands. He just thinks his Ace High is good, or if he's just trying to get cheap showdown or whatever. So I think doing this with a King High is going to be better than doing it with Ace 10 suited. And it ended up working out. I assume he probably had like a 3 or a 5. Could 3-bet, could call. I'm okay with either. I think 3-bet is fine. I 3-bet kind of small there, but it's fine. I end up checking because I have showdown value. I can call a lot of flops and turns, especially when he's betting this small. It's a cool turn card for me. Good. I'm never folding. His bet sizing. I don't like his bet sizing, honestly. He bet like 40% pot. So that means the way he made up his range, he's betting his king x as well. Because like if he's only betting ace x plus, he's probably betting like close to like half pot to third pot, and just bet all his ace x and check his king highs like his king queens, king jacks and stuff. That he bet the flop with. I don't know. It seems because I think I can have a lot of ace x myself as well as some like I kind of like my weak ace x like that 3-bet and then just want to get the showdown or like bet 2 streets or whatever. You know, because if I 3-bet ace deuce suited, I can't 3-barrel for value. Like it's really hard to get 3 streets unless I like, hit 2 pair or whatever. But like so I would check a lot of those a lot of the time. So him 2-barreling small doesn't make much sense because I'm gonna call those hands a lot of the time anyway. And like him, sorry about that. Him 2-barreling small, it just means he has a wider value range, which means that he could possibly even be betting his king x, which seems way too loose in my opinion. Not way too loose, just slightly too loose. Yeah. So he should be probably just valuing a lot of his ace x on the turn, and for a bigger sizing and checking back king x. And if I check the river, you could possibly just get value that way. It's just hard to get a lot of value from worse here. Other than like my hand makes a lot of sense because I have a straight draw and a flush draw and a pair, so I'm not folding this in. And if you bet bigger, I'm calling anyway. So I think he's just missing a lot of value. And he's gonna check. I don't even know. He bets 26k. I hope I fold. I have so many stronger hands in this. It just sucks when everything bricks. The little 4 of hearts on the river. Don't go for it. Don't go for it. Just fold. Just fold. Don't do it. Oh my god. Okay. So I ended up calling, which I mean, I don't see what reads I had to call there. Honestly, it was like he called my 3-bet and then 3-barreled small 3 times. So he could just be a player that's doing it with his ace x, and he's probably not doing his king x, probably checking his king x, so he's repping ace x. And like as for bluffs, like diamond draws obviously, but I have a diamond draws. I had a diamond draw, so I'm blocking some diamond draws. Queen jack, well, queen jack is enough, but like a hand like jack 8, I'm blocking as well. It's just like this is the hand I have exactly. It's just not a good hand to bluff catch with, so I really don't like that call. It ended up working out, and maybe it's just like a bet sizing tell he has that he's just betting smaller with like his bluffs and his draws. But at the time I didn't know that. Maybe I did. Maybe from watching his matches that I knew that at the time, so I ended up calling. That could be a thing. Like I don't remember personally, but if that's my reasoning, then I'm okay with the call. But other than that, I just don't think the call makes much sense. Alright. Well, I'm not opening this hand anymore, but at this point I am. Okay, so he's going for the check. I mean limp. Okay. So I attacked this limp because I just assumed it was weak. Because we're still like 80 big blind, 80, 90 big blinds deep or whatever. So I just didn't see his reason for suddenly started limping. It's not like he got short, so I just assumed his range was super weak. So I looked to attack it, and it's kind of surprised that he called, but a good flop for me. Okay, so I checked. I think I was just going for a check raise, which this is fine. It's a flop that hits both of us decently well. Yeah, his limp calling range is it's not as weak as his just limp folding range obviously, so it's like slightly stronger. So it's a lot of middling cards that connected here. So I ended up checking and hoping he would bet like an 8 or 7, or some weak hand, and I can just check raise and bluff him off those hands by betting 3 streets. So that was my plan here. I'm pretty confident. I think it's just a flop that I thought he would assume was better for his range, like so he would bet a lot of the time. And this turn, the king is obviously a great card for me. Looks like I'm going to bet 15.2k into 23k, and I actually would have liked a larger bet, like 28k or 30k. I think would have like 1.5, like 1.4x pot. I think would have been optimal. I've been watching a lot of high stakes cash game videos lately, and like this is the thing they do a lot of the time where it's when a turn card is just so favorable for them. Uh, they look to apply a lot of pressure with overbets because your king is just so good for me and just so bad for him. Like what kings does he have that he's limp calling here? Like, I don't know his range. You can only ask him. But personally, I don't think he has like any other than like maybe like king 4 suited or something. So it's just such an amazing card for me. I would have liked like 30k. So I would have liked like twice as big as I bet, but it ended up working out. Okay, very easy open. I check back because Deuce is just it doesn't have any cards that I can barrel other than exactly a Deuce. So literally 2 cards in the deck that I can barrel out of there, whatever, like 44 cards, whatever there is left. I don't even know. And so I don't like C-bet this hand. Like this hand, I'm just looking to the showdown, and if they bluff me off, they bluff me off, and it's fine. I lose 2 big blinds. Like I'd rather be calling the turn with like ace queen or ace 10, like by far. Okay, I go to my old 100% defending ways, which I'm not a fan of anymore. But you know, it is what it is. If I fold the turn, so he's betting half pot now. Instead of betting like 40% pot, so maybe he does have a sizing tell. We'll keep looking to that. Probably a call. Yeah, I think I'm OP 100%, so 7-10 suited is like what, like a top 50%, top 40% hand, or whatever. I don't even know. And it's just I don't want to be folding too often into his 3-bets. Oh, like I'll fold all my garbage, but I'm not gonna fold hands like this. Especially like if I was opening a tighter range, which means he's probably gonna be 3-betting me less or 3-betting me tighter. I would be folding more hands, like maybe fold this hand, like sometimes depending on his sizing. But at this point, okay, he bet huge, but I'm not gonna fold this flusher. I can fold on some turns, not that turn. Okay, very easy. Bet big. I'm betting big because it's just such a great card for me, obviously. I have hands like Queen Jack, Jack 9, 10 8 of 10 8 of spades I don't have. There's no way I have that. Okay, I mean 10 8 of spades I have, but 10 8 other cards I wouldn't feel that big of a flop bet. I have Ace Jack in my range as well, which I have Pocket Jack sometimes, maybe. It's close. I probably fold the flop with Pocket Jack actually, so I don't have Pocket Jacks. And he has a lot of like Ace King, Ace Queen, and then like some suited aces to 3-bet, or maybe like he has like some 2 pairs or something. So he doesn't like the spade. Oh yeah, obviously I have a lot of spade draws. I didn't mention that. I have like Ace X, I mean, Ace like Ace Deuce suited to like Ace 10 suited, also like of spades. Then I have like 7 8 of spades, 7 10 of spades, 8 7 of spades, 6 7 of spades, 5 7 of spades. I don't even know. But I'm peeling all those pre-flops, so I have a lot of flush draws while he probably doesn't. Especially when he just bets that big on the flop. So it's just big room for me. So I'm betting 57k. That seems interesting. I don't really like it. Huh? Why did I bet so small? So I bet half pot here pretty much, and I don't know the reason. Cause I don't think I'm gonna be betting too many ace X here. You know, like I'm trying to bet small. When I bet small, I'm trying to have a wider value range. But I'm not gonna be betting my ace X here, like ace eight of clubs or some shit. Huh. I might bet it. No, because he has his own, like, he just has like so many better hands that beat me here that he's checking because he's afraid of the flush. So I think I'll just be betting like 2 pair plus here a lot of the time. So I don't understand why I'm betting so small. It could make sense if at the time I was gonna bet like ace eight of clubs and fold to a raise, or try to get a cheap showdown I uh because I don't have a spade in my hand. But like, I don't know, because like a lot of hands I want to bet for protection because I don't want another spade peeling off. But that's not really, that was never my game plan. Like some people do that, but that's just not me. I think just more profitable ways to play it by checking in this spot with a lot of hands and betting bigger with value hands that I can actually value bet. And like some bluffs, if I have like like king nine with king of spades or some shit, I would want to bet big anyway. So it seems like a bad bet. I mean, not necessarily bad, but just not the most plus EV way to play it. Okay, so he calls. See, like now I have to overbet jam. I have to overbet jam if I want to get him all in. Like if on turn I still have 57, I had bet like 75, which is 18k more, which would make it 36k more in the pot. So it would be 256 in the pot, and he would have 231k. Then I can just jam and comfortably. While this, I have to overbet, and like there's a decent chance like he folds a hand like ace king here, which would be bad for me, obviously, extremely bad for me. And like it looks like I'm gonna bet smaller size because I'm trying to rep that I'm value betting like 2 pair and stuff as well. I mean, it's fine. Like if I'm gonna bet small in the turn, I gotta bet the size on river, I think. But this is exactly why I would have preferred a bigger turn size and a river jam instead of this. I get called, but it's just not. I would love to have ended the match right on this hand. I think I could have if I had adjusted my sizing. This is why sizing is just so immensely important. And I'm trying to see what he had, and he had ace 3. So maybe that exact hand I couldn't have I couldn't have gotten him to call off. Maybe I could have. Maybe he's just not good. I mean, I just assumed he was better than he was, because he called with that hand. Doesn't seem like a good hand to call with. Like he doesn't even have a spade blocker in his hand, so I just don't understand. Like I don't know what he's like. I just don't have that many bluffs. Like me personally, especially once he like pots flop, like I literally might not have any bluffs. Like I might have king 9 with king of spades, or like king 10 with king of spades, but king 10 with king of spades is straight, so that's not even a bluff. I don't know, like maybe king queen with king of spades, but I probably just checking back, trying to realize my equity. So I like literally have like 3 combos of bluffs, if that, and I might not even bluff king 9. Like I think I would just like check with the king of spades, trying to realize equity a lot of the time. So I literally might have 0 bluffs. So his call with ace 3 is just atrocious. Okay, I'm going with the Olympic strategy with 20 bigs. He raises, seems like an easy limp shove. Okay, that's that. Well, this hand obviously not very interesting, but the last hand was pretty interesting, I think. I think the discussion about bet sizing is pretty important, in my opinion. And here I can see that I won 23.87. Yeah, the discussion about bet sizing I thought was pretty important. Because like some people just like bet like half, just like naturally bet like half pot or like 1/3 pot a lot of times in tournaments, where it's just like there's so many different bet sizes in this game that you can do that like some people just put themselves in a box where they're literally just betting 1/3 to a half pot at all times, or like they're only betting big when they have it or some shit like that, and like whereas those players aren't, like, it's just so easy to like tell who those players are. Like you can realize that very quickly, and you can just destroy them. Like it's not that hard. Like they're just losing so much equity. They're giving away so much equity to you that then these smaller sizes they're letting you realize hands for a lot cheaper. It's just so many good things are happening for your opponents when you're playing like that. Okay, well I guess that was kind of a tip, but to like to end this series, I want to add another tip to tell all of you. So my tip for this last video is to really be aware of what other people are doing. No, okay, let me put this in a better way. Don't always assume that the way you're playing is the correct way. Like it's so easy to like when somebody does something out of the ordinary to just write him off and be like, oh, he's a fish, he doesn't know what he's doing. Because sometimes you're right, he is. Sometimes it's true. But there are players who do like weird stuff. Like I do some weird shit. I ain't gonna lie. I do some stuff that most people don't do. And like just because and like some people might think I'm an idiot for like in some spots where I'm folding like top two pair, but in that same spot, like against that same player, I'm gonna call with a much weaker hand just because it blocks certain value hands that you have or something like that. Because that's type of just the way I play. I've learned a lot of different things that I think is correct, but like I think when you're playing, it's just so easy to write someone off as playing incorrectly or do something wrong just because they do it the same way as you. But like I think you should just like constantly be thinking about it's like, okay, he did this. Why would he do this? Why would this make sense in his head? Or like it just assess situations and just don't always think your way is the best way, or you're never gonna grow as a player and get better. Like because back in the day when I didn't even play poker, it was always like 3x and 4x was the correct sizing, and then it turned into mid-range being the best sizing, and now some people still mid-range, some people do 2.5x, some people even raise bigger than that now in a lot of spots, and all of them have their merits. Like guys like James Ops, still mid-range a lot of time, and he has like his own reason for mid-ranging, and while guys like Sam Greenwood have reasons for has a reason for 2.5xing or like 3xing a lot of the time, and both their like logics are sound. Both of them like their reasons, I've listened to both the reasons and it makes a lot of sense. So like people just play differently and have different strategies, and just because someone plays differently than you, don't always assume they're playing incorrectly. Just try to improve and think about why they're doing this and that, and I think your game will get a lot better, honestly. Because like I used to be in that same way where I just assumed one way was the best way to play, and I just played like that for a while, and my results were pretty subpar. And then when I started like trying to do different things, like a lot of good things started happening for me, poker wise. Like obviously there's some variance, but at the same time I just know that I was doing some things that other people were not doing that was correct in those certain spots. So just like growing your poker mind in that way, I think will benefit you greatly. Okay, well I ranted on for long enough there. Thank you all for watching my series. I just want to thank everybody for watching, and I want to thank Evan for allowing me to do this. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and get stacking.